Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 3, Episode 8, Poltergeist II, The Other Side. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcastNetwork and youtube.com/WeArePodcastNetwork. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast. So what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Camp Slash Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time, live on Twitch. I am your head camp counselor, Duck. I am here with other head camp counselors. We have Raph. They're back. Ramirez. Raph, how are you doing today, sir?
Hey, man, fantastic. How about y'all?
I'm doing good. Hopefully everyone else is doing good. We're going to find out. Next, we got David. No, we can't get a TV. Jessup. David, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad you asked.
Excellent. I'm very happy that you're doing well. Next, we have Jacob. I cahoot with no one, Pinkston. Jacob, how are you?
Cookie, Necky, Necka, wow.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I think it's a positive, so we're going with it. Next, we have Jay, angry. That car's pissed. McClintock. Jay, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. And finally, we got Mikey. You're all going to die in there. Mikey, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How's everybody else doing?
I think we're doing
Good.
well. We're having a good time. We're about to cast about this movie. We're going to find out if people liked it. All right. So we watched Poltergeist II, The Other Side. Release date, May 23rd, 1986. Running time, 91 minutes. Budget, $19 million. Box office, $41 million. Not a huge drawback, but it did double its money, so it's not bad. Synopsis. The Freelings have escaped their haunted house, which is now being studied by paranormal investigators, including Shaman Taylor. When Taylor realizes that the beast, masquerading as the Reverend Kane, knows where young Carol Ann Freeling now lives, he goes to warn the family that their daughter is in danger again. To protect Carol, her father Steve, and the rest of the family must plot to take down the beast. Poltergeist 2, let's watch a trailer real quick. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this. It's going to be so good.
That's a badass poster.
Oh, real quick, want to give a shout out to Dan Danzy for giving us a couple of those subs. We appreciate it. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
sir.
buddy.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Also, a shout out to David Jessup's nephew. I messed up my words. What's his name again, David?
Ian.
Ian, we're giving you a shout out. Thank you so much. If you're watching right now, we appreciate it. Let's watch the trailer. Can you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Here comes the Reverend Kane. Oh, I can't see you guys though.
Hold on, my phone's ringing.
Why is this phone just ringing? What is going on?
Because it's The Shining Part 2.
It's the shinning.
They're back.
Oh shit!
Me in.
Oh, that looked bad. Those effects were not finished.
Me in.
Sadly, they were.
Hell, won't you leave us alone? You are gonna die.
Yeah. Poltergeist 2. The shinning, as I said before.
The poltergeisting.
You ever been geisted?
Yeah.
Even geistier.
The geistiest. All right, yeah. So that was the trailer. Interesting trailer. I don't know if it was sold the movie to me, Guys, let's get into it. My dog ate my homework. Just to point that out real quick. No, we don't need to go.
No,
back.
not again.
Yeah, we're good.
Stop it.
All right,
It's
let's get started. Jay, I want to start with you because I know that you are a fan of this movie, so much so that I believe you said you think this is better than the original. Is that correct?
I do. I've always liked it better. It's one of the first movies I ever, like horror movies I ever got to see with the entire family, which I always thought was kind of cool because mostly my taste in movies, the rest of the family just hated. So Poltergeist, Poltergeist 2, and unfortunately Poltergeist 3, but that's another story.
We'll get there.
This one, we always seem to like this. We, as a family, we always just seem to like this one the best. More fleshed out, more characters. You get like the Beast. You really get. I think it has a lot more direction. And again, I'm talking in 1988, Jay. So I will agree with every criticism y'all have about it. But for me, I totally
86, isn't it?
No, I'm talking first time I saw it was
Yeah,
88.
but
Oh, you first time you saw it was 88. Gotcha.
Yeah, first this is 1988 Jay talking, but you know,
VHS.
and I've still seen it, and I saw it again about 12 years ago. But yeah, it's still, to me, for whatever reason, it just seems a little bit more polished than the original. And I think part of the reason I think it's more polished is because whereas the first movie you weren't quite sure if it was a Steven Spielberg movie, this director basically just said, "I'm gonna try to be Steven Spielberg, at least when it comes to the effects for the entire movie." And
for a fact.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's my take. I have more opinions later, but yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
I also want to go to Mikey B on this because he didn't watch the first one with us. So he hasn't seen the first one probably in a while, but he watched this today. What are your feelings just kind of after watching it? Were you yay or were you just like, what the fuck?
Well, compared to a few of the other movies we've done recently, I was happy to be watching this one. Especially, I like this is from the era when movies were 90 minutes because they knew, like, okay, that's enough. Like, that's good. That's all we need.
We got to get 5 viewings in a day in the theater is what that 90-minute thing was.
Yeah.
We got to get as many viewings going.
Yeah, I
Making
like
that money.
the effects on this one a little more. Still, all the movies from this era, I haven't seen this since like the early 90s. They're always funny to me now. The things that used to scare me as a kid are just with the 80s humor. There was a few spots I felt like they could have used a couple of more one-liners or taglines, but that's just how my brain always thinks in one-liners. So
Yeah.
that's probably just me. But Poltergeist 2, even geistier, is what I think.
100%. Does anyone else have history with the movie at all? Jake,
I
you
saw
have
it
history?
when it came out.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it when it came out? So you saw it in
Yeah.
theaters?
Yeah, I saw it weekend when it came out.
Damn, dude, you've seen a lot of these movies. Too.
I'm old as fuck, and we didn't have anything else to do that. Gee, we had no internet. And that's what the weird thing about this is, like, I had no idea this movie was even being made. Like, I'm a huge Poltergeist 1 fan. And so all of a sudden it was like in the theater. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a second one? And so we went and saw it, and I fucking hated it. And I watched it again yesterday, and I fucking hated it even more. This movie's a piece of fucking shit. I always look at the director, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who this director is. First of all, he's British, so fuck off, 7076 motherfucker. You know what else he's done? You know what other horror icon movies this guy's done? Fucking nothing. The Josephine Baker story. That's what this fucker has done. This is fucking... And here's another thing, too. This was 4 years after the original one. How the fuck does special effects get worse?
Oh yeah,
They are fucking off. There's only 2 scenes in this movie that I find watchable. It's when he shows up and screams at him through the screen door. That's amazing. Love him. And when H.R. Giger's midget baby pops out and squiggles on the floor. That was amazing. That was so fucking cool. Everything else, utter trash.
That was Noble Craig.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, that was a nice rant. I appreciate that. Jake, have you seen this before?
Oh no, yeah, I didn't recommend this movie at all.
So what are your thoughts? Like what was? I mean, what was?
Oh
your
no.
experience
I
watching
saw
it?
this one before the first one, and my story almost parallels Jay's around the same time. And I saw this one before the first one, and I thought it was fucking creepy as shit. The old man scared the shit out of me. I was probably 6 years old at the time. And yeah, it just always stuck with me. I got older and watched it. Yeah, it's all right, but I still really like it. So
what made it you want to come back to it? What was, because you did recommend it, and that's why we did the Poltergeist trilogy.
Craig T. Nelson's smoking hot body. They had to make him shirtless throughout half this movie. So I was like, yeah, let's watch Coach fucking with his shirt off.
Also, long hair, Craig T. Nelson. I dig that too.
Oh,
Anyone
yeah.
else
Yeah, a
notice he
little
got a
bit.
haircut like
Halfway
immediately?
through the film?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
They
kind of
don't
weird.
even mention it. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, and now
Well, and they also
I call
don't
that the-
mention their missing daughter. Like, they don't mention, I know she's dead in real life, but there's not one mention of like, hey, you know, she's off in college. It was like, well, we're not going to talk about her.
Well,
Probably-
that's
check that. I didn't know that she was Griffin Dunn's sister.
Yes, dude. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it at all. And I
Who's
saw
that
the
girl?
last name again.
Who's that
Shut
girl
up.
you're talking about?
The girl that was
Dominic,
killed in
shut
the
the fuck
Dominic
up,
Dunn.
You
The girl that was
fucking
killed.
moron.
Yeah,
I
also
didn't
her-
realize, I didn't put together.
Her
My
dad
brother
was
and sister for the
a
longest
big
time.
time lawyer.
Yeah.
Did y'all get
Dominic.
that joke I was making?
Who's that girl?
Griffin Dunn was in Who's That Girl? So
Yes.
that's what I said.
and evidently the guy
Also,
who
American
killed her-
Werewolf in London, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Dr. Well, he got that was David Naughton.
I guess the guy who killed her got away with it too. He disappeared. I need to do more research.
Well, he didn't get away with it. They caught him. They just didn't charge him. Like, he got like a slap on the wrist. Like, it was ridiculous.
Damn.
And he
He got
choked
like
her out.
6 years or something.
Yeah, and
Then he
he
disappeared.
now leads a regular life. And then the other really shitty thing is the teenager from the V miniseries, the teenage boy that was a badass. He was reading lines with her when her boyfriend like beat her and killed her, and he called the cops, and the cops was like, "Go do something," and he was like, "No, I'm scared." So he fucking pussed out.
Oh,
That's
Henry
bullshit.
Rollins.
Yeah, he.
Whatever. Every one of you motherfuckers would have Henry Rollins.
I would have used stern language, and I would have told him, "Sir, you stop choking her out," and then I would have ran.
I'm actually talking more about Henry Rollins' actually situation, but yeah, I know what you mean. I totally get it.
Raph,
That sucks. That sucks.
Raph, do you have
Yeah.
history with this?
Absolutely not, and I'm glad I don't.
I wonder if this is a nostalgia fest. Well, all right.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
yeah, for me,
don't-
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can say it's better than the first one. The first one was actually a good movie. You know, it's scary. It catches you off guard.
You know what? I get what you're saying, Raph. To me, honestly, I think I would probably say that for me, the Poltergeist series is one of the weaker ones. I'm not a diehard for any of them, but of the three, this one's definitely my fave. So
Well, I can imagine the third one's just gonna be worse than all of them. But no,
I'm
the
gonna be
first one-
sick. I'm gonna be sick that night. I'm playing it.
Yeah.
He's pre-calling
So
in
bad.
sick.
Right?
But ironically, I've probably seen that one more than the rest of them. Maybe I had like a masochist stage in my early youth. I don't know.
Real quick, hello, I'm Pickle1 on Twitch said this movie made Leprechaun in space look good.
Oh.
It's not as bad as Leprechaun in Space, which is awesome, by the way, if you've never seen the third act of that with the giant leprechaun. Oh,
That's a sick burn. Whoever
the best
said that.
Leprechaun movie is Leprechaun in the Hood. That movie it holds
Yes,
up. It is
That is the
good.
best one.
It is 100% awesome. I love it. But so, all right, let's get into this movie. First, I'm going to talk about the first movie belongs to the mom. This movie belongs to the dad. It's very Craig T. Nelson centric. I thought that was interesting. They did that. The first movie is more spiritual. This movie is more grounded in its special effects. I feel it's a lot more grotesque stuff. I guess creatures from the beyond, if you will. The third act was cut short. This movie was supposed to be 30 minutes longer, and there was supposed to be a giant battle at the end, and it didn't happen. But starting kind of from beginning, the first thing we get is the shaman, and that guy's from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's Will Sampson.
Yeah, he
Yes.
is awesome in this movie.
Chief.
Yeah, and how the fuck did he get on that giant pillar? I couldn't figure that out. Like he was hanging out up top there.
Well, obviously you're not 1/16th Cherokee like me, and so and I'm not going to tell you how because it's
Oh.
a secret.
Dude, there was some fucking racism going on in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
hardcore.
That's actually kind of a cool thing to talk about in the realm of what Will Sampson did in his career. If you look him up on Wikipedia, you'll see that he actually refused to act on a movie when they used white actors for Native American roles, and he actually stopped production.
Fuck
He was
yeah.
he was a real proponent of keeping things very culturally appropriate. That's one of the reasons he's actually really good in this movie, because a lot of the things that you see there, like he was a consultant. They're like, hey, is this fucked up? And like, if it was fucked up, he was not going to do it.
So he wouldn't have liked Scarface, the fact that the entire cast is Italians playing Cubans.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, he kind of takes the role over from Zelda Rubinstein or whatever her name is, Stein. He takes over, and her name's what? Tamara, something. Tamara.
Tangina.
Thank you so much, and that's her name.
Angina.
Show me a tangina.
Well, and I think you're right with that, Duck. I mean, the reason you nailed it on the head, man. You had a great synopsis. This is a very masculine movie, and so because it's Craig T. Nelson's movie, he needed a male guide. So that's exactly what they got.
That's a very valid point. I didn't even think about that. The first movie is a little bit more feminine.
Well, Tangina is totally there for the mom, right?
Right.
And so they needed in 80s, mansplaining era. They were like, oh, well, he needs a guy. So
well, this had one of the greatest misogynistic lines ever. when she's yelling at him, he's like, I'm trying to make it a man. And he yells at him. She's like, hey, you're not the man, are you? And I was like, yeah. I was half expecting him to be like, now go back in kitchen.
Yeah, but she fired back. She said he doesn't know what it's like to be a mother. So she didn't just, make a sandwich, but she literally made a sandwich.
It's so weird to see her go from like an acting powerhouse in the first movie to like this, which there is that one scene, the kind of rapey scene where you can see her full range again. But Craig T. Nelson's chewing up the scenery in that. But even then, he's on point. Like whenever he becomes the Reverend Kane,
Kane,
and his teeth are showing and stuff. That was
he did a good job of him.
Yeah.
Did that guy die during the making of this movie?
Which one? Julian Beck?
No, Kane. Yeah, did he die during the making of it?
Yeah, he had cancer.
Because it was really weird how because it does feel like he's a major part of the movie, and then he's not. Like he's really big. He's just chewing up the scenery, and then he just disappears. And the only time you see him is as a what do you call it? A synthetic, not a synthetic. What do you call it? Latex.
Ethereal.
Yeah, he just disappears. So I didn't know. Also, I was asking if he died during the making of it.
You see him as a cum tequila worm too later. I thought that was pretty cool when that thing popped up and it was like teething it up. Good, Jake.
Well, no, he's a very interesting character too. When I started watching this movie, it was about 10 years ago. I really looked up Julian Beck because he was like almost second to Freddy Krueger as far as like absolutely terrifying me around the time I watched these movies. And he was an interesting cat, man. He was an interesting cat. He was in a open marriage. He was a bisexual. He was definitely during the 80s and whatnot. And he was part of a theater program, like a big theater group. So he was classically trained. And, obviously one of the reasons why he's so, effective in this role is that he literally is dying on stage. He's literally dying on screen.
This movie, I was just going to ask real quick, isn't this part of those movies that's considered like cursed because of people dying like while filming and after filming?
Someone call it like the cursed movie, the cursed franchise. There is E-Tree Hollywood stories about it. I mean, after this movie, at least two of them died. Will Sampson died shortly after this movie, along with Julian Beck.
And the little girl died in the third one. After the third one, she was after the third one when she was like 12. She drank water at her house that killed her and killed no one else. That's fine.
Her parents killed her. Yeah,
she had sepsis. She died of sepsis. No, Tangina lived a pretty normal life. She lived to be about 76. She died actually on my 29th birthday in 2010.
Oh wow!
I thought you were gonna say on your couch.
I was just saying Jay killed her.
Well, guys, if y'all want to go ahead and take a look, you can.
Oh, geez, so brave. Still there. Yeah,
she died on my lap while asking me what she wanted for Christmas.
Don't kill me, Jay. Don't kill me, Jay. Don't do it. This house is clean. There's a line in this movie where she just goes, "Oh, Diane," and I clipped it because I couldn't stop laughing about it. But
this movie has a lot of unintentional funny parts.
Totally agree.
For sure.
I want to.
Holy shit!
Yeah. I want to stay on the Reverend Kane real quick, and just his presence and creepiness, and his ability to scare. Even the little girl Heather O'Rourke was terrified of him whenever he came in, just on set. Like he just had that presence, and it comes through the film. It's just bigger than life and terrifying. Like you feel there's evilness present when he's there, and he's only in two scenes,
and that's the problem. That's why this film falls apart so badly, is he's no longer in the movie. It's just really shitty special effects that went from pretty cool in 82 to look. I mean, I mean, did they not even use, because ILM was used in the first movie. Did they not even use the same ILM special effects house?
It don't look like it.
Look, I contend that the cloud shot at the very beginning, whirling over the house, I thought that looked really good. And I still think that practical effects look way better than digital effects nowadays. Even though you can tell it's green screen or whatever, I will say, like, they're not on par with the first movie, obviously, but there are some good shots in here that you're like, okay, that holds up.
But dude, that the last when they're floating in the clouds at the end is so fucking bad.
There's some shit.
Did you ever watch the Bugaloos? You ever watch the Bugaloos? You ever seen the Bugaloos? It was the fucking Bugaloos. They were like fucking flying around. They're strapped on, and then the thing that made me so fucking crazy is you're watching this, and all of a sudden the fucking shaman's like, oh yeah, here, use the spear. What spear? Where the fuck did that spear come from?
Right.
Why does a spear have any kind of fucking use the lance? What lance are you talking about?
There's so giant gaps in this movie that don't add up. Okay.
But there's 30 minutes missing. That's what comes down to.
You can tell that 30 minutes is gone, especially in that last battle. You poke them with a native's pokey stick and it's over. What the fuck is that?
The also insane thing is there's like what 20 or 30 skeletons underneath this house, and no one's called the cops. No one's investigating. There's just these fucking skeletons.
The insurance company is saying, "Yeah, fucking right." Like,
I love the insurance line though. I thought that was the one thing I was like, yeah, that fucking I can see that. I can totally see the insurance company being like, "I'm sorry, dude, we can't give you your money. Why? You don't have a house." It just disappeared.
There was a funny line later on though, whenever Carol Ann was playing with the phone and she hands it to Daddy, and Joe Beth Williams is like, maybe it's the insurance company. It's like, yeah, maybe it is. Like, he's fucking like, he's carrying around a bottle of tequila in front of his daughter and just like, oh, good night, baby, you know. And then he's like, oh, I'll just go sit over here and drink like it was no big deal.
He was using it for courage.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. He is using it for power. He fucking like, yeah, that was.
I feel that.
I like that.
I felt that one.
I like that fucking scene, bro.
Real quick, I want to give James Stockton a shout out. He said, "Did Craig T. Nelson coach any Poltergeist in the film?" Yes. I just want to give him a little shout
James.
out. He said, "Did Spielberg do the first one?" Yes, he did. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, he did.
No.
I just had a quick question. Like when they flash the credits at the beginning, the names, and you see Joe Beth. Did anybody else read that as Jobeth? Jobeth to me. I was like, Jobeth.
Whatever you say, Jobeth.
You know,
it's not even a thing.
Guys, I will say, you know, I'm bitching about how much I hate this movie, but researching about how shitty this movie is to validate my opinion on it, 20% Rotten Tomatoes. I did come across something that I was not aware of, and that is Joe Beth Williams was naked in Teachers. So I got to watch that. So something good came out of this, you know, guys. So
what about that side boob?
I'm happy.
Never mind, that side boob.
No,
there's a child.
I thought the side boob was great, but I'm glad I got to watch a scene from Teachers where Joe Beth Williams is naked. So,
David, I forget. Did you like the original?
The original Poltergeist?
Yeah.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
So
love it.
Like when you saw this one in the theater, you were just like you just weren't having it.
No, I absolutely hated it. Hated it.
That's strange for me to think this a movie that 4 years later, like, you know, because you're only like 16, 17 at the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That just seems odd. I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, invalidate, but it just seems those are some very advanced opinions for, you know, teenage years. Because I mean, there's plenty of movies I gave the benefit of doubt to in the 90s that I would be like, fuck that.
I think a lot of it though, Jay, is I mean, I know you guys are going to be shocked to hear this, but I am a movie snob, and I've always I know. I'm sorry. I've always been a movie snob, and this movie is such I mean, just it's so bad compared to the original, and I wasn't expecting an aliens to alien type of thing where you're like, oh my god, this is, you know, really good on a different level, but it's such a drop off from the first one, and also I'm a huge special effects fan, and the special effects in this are so bad, especially compared to the original, that again, some of the special effects are so laughable, even though, like I said, that H.R. Giger creature is amazing.
The
and
sperm,
also,
the little sperm tequila creature. Yeah.
Well, and the midget thing the little person thing that pops out and wiggles on the floor, that's straight up from a Tool music video. That is horrifying. Yes. And it was nominated for an Academy Award, which is pretty fucking cool.
That's probably my favorite scene, him throwing that up and then it turned it into that baby. That was cool,
man. That was cool.
Yeah, I don't think in 1986 when this movie came out.
Yeah,
I don't think you could think of I know the special effects aren't great, but I don't know if back then you could really think of. Can you think of a horror movie in 1986 that it had as ambitious special effects as this movie?
Oh, I would say they're ambitious for sure. But you know what? There comes a time where you say, how does this look? Yeah,
like you said, the Academy thought they were good enough. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think
I don't know if you thought they were good enough, but
Jay,
I'm just saying, you're a snob, let me
clarify. Let me clarify. The H.R. Giger is what was nominated for the award.
Do you know that? Do you know that?
Mm-hmm. I talked to my friend at the Academy today.
Was his name H.R. Giger?
No,
the one he told you?
His name was Trevor, and I'm not at liberty to give his last name. We're very tight, but the H.R. Giger effect is what was nominated.
I'm with David. There's quite a drop off in effects, but I will say this: kudos for doing something different with the story, because as a sequel, it feels like a different film than the first film. It feels like a continuation in a lot of ways. Like, this is part 2. Do you need it? I don't know, but it feels like a good part.
Well, that storyline sucked. It just didn't have.
Yeah, it didn't.
I didn't dislike it as much as you guys. I think that's why. Why did the storyline suck, Raph? Tell me.
It really did not make sense to me when the native guy went under the pool and then comes out to go find them to save them, but then disappears, and then it's just a whole. I didn't like it at all.
It's a mess.
Thing I enjoyed. Yeah, the only thing I enjoyed was when the kid was asking for a TV. Is like, you want me to be retarded? And it's like, oh, you're not retarded. I was laughing my ass off. Other than that,
can we talk about the real victim of these movies is the brother?
Oh, I thought you meant the dog.
No, the brother, man. This brother, all he does.
He got named E-Buzz.
All he does is get abused by the ghosts or whatever, and they don't really want him. And they even said it this time, like Taylor's like, oh yeah, he doesn't want your son.
He doesn't want you. He doesn't want Robbie. He doesn't want your wife.
I will give props to that special effects scene with his braces. I thought
brace face scene was bomb.
Was pretty badass. Yeah. I'll defend that.
That scared the fuck out of me as a kid.
I got no problem with that
both of
scene.
my brothers had braces, and I thought I was gonna have to have braces. Thank God I didn't.
It's like Jay. It's like that scene you talk about, the braces scene, pretty cool. The H.R. Giger scene, pretty cool. But then when you end with the Bugaloos, and then when you end with that,
I don't know what the Bugaloos is.
Was that we end with the shitty flying and the really bad special effects at the end? It's like a comic coming out and doing his closer first, and then ending with shitty crowd work. It's like you don't want to end. You don't want to have in the middle your best stuff. You want to save that for the end, because it's kind of like you're leaving people with that bad taste in your mouth.
No, I get that. Effects. I get that, and I would actually, and to add to your point, I would say a lot of these special effects kind of, looking back, kind of remind me of some of the special effects from Howard the Duck, where they just went really over the top. But it worked. Like I said, 7-year-old Jay loved it. I mean, that's the whole thing. But yeah, 40-year-old Jay, he totally gets it.
It's a nostalgia, I think. Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes nostalgia works both ways, because I think sometimes we hold these 80s movies to 2020 standards, and I mean that's pretty impossible. They're all gonna suck, in a few ways.
And that's why I bring up the point of the special effects is not comparing it to today, but comparing it to the first movie. Because the special effects in the first movie are good, but they're not. I mean, you watch them through a 2020 lens or 2021 lens, it's kind of like iffy. But compared to this is 4 years later. It should be at least as good, but they regressed, which is why I was curious if they used ILM or not. And I don't think they did, because the budget was $19 million. Ducky?
Real quick, I want to say 2 things. First of all, I love this conversation. Hello on Pickle said the Reverend added a lot of character to the movie and makes the characters always seem like they're being watched. That is true. His presence is felt
very voyeuristic. Very voyeuristic.
And then James says the crawling chicken was very creepy. The guitarist from Tool worked at ILM. I'm sure that is known, but I just wanted to note it. Yes.
Adam. I forget his name was Adam something. But yeah, he did all the stop motion stuff for music.
But as for, I agree with David. The original had effects that hold up. This has effects that don't. But what it comes down to is the story and overall movie. How do we feel about that? Really, is what it comes down to. And overall, it's just not as good as the first one.
It's a mess.
I don't think it's as bad as you guys think it is. I'm middle of the road. I think it's an okay.
Look, I think.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. Look, I like this movie. I chose it. I thought there was a lot of good fucking parts in it. There's a lot of shit that scared me as a kid, nostalgia factor. But I think what it all boils down to is just that Taylor wanted their car in the end. And
I'm so
looking back on this, I had no idea. And then he's just like, yeah, maybe you should give me your car. I talked to it. And it's like, okay, yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Jacob, because that's the one thing I forgot that really makes this movie so infuriating is that joke at the end. So they come out of the cave. Tangina fucking disappears. She's like, I'm out.
And
then I'll see you next time.
Yeah. And then they're like, Dad, how are we going to get home? Oh no! They all start running, and the music is like ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
It was the end of a fucking Simpsons episode.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie though. Yeah. That's 80s banter. That's
you know what it was?
Movie banter.
They were trying to replicate the ending of the original where he pushes the TV out of the hotel room, which is a very funny scene. And that's where this movie misses so much. The original had genuinely funny moments that were natural. This has so many forced funny moments.
Here's the difference. The original has a lot of heart. And I think what Mikey B said is correct. This one is trying to replicate the original and be like an 80s kind of banter back and forth. There's something to that Spielberg magic with Tobe Hooper mixed in for the horror that made that work. Whereas this movie is a pale clone in a lot of ways, even though it tries to do stuff differently, which I like. It's a sequel that tries, but it does fall into the same thing. And that
I would disagree, Doc. I think it actually tries too hard to be different.
Go ahead. What do you mean?
I think it tries too hard to be different. I think if it followed the actual storyline of the original and the formula, I think it would have been a little more successful. If anything, I think this movie tried to strike it on its own a little bit too much. And that's where I think a lot of the holes come from.
Well, like I said before, that's why I kind of view it as a part 2, because it's not the same as the first one. But whenever you try to...
Because it is a part 2.
But
yeah, it's literally in the title.
It's in the title.
Literally a part 2.
You got Poltergeist, you got the 2, you got the other side. You got the whole thing.
The other side threw me off. What I'm saying is that third act, when it tries to ape what they did in the first movie and actually go into the ethereal realm, that green screen and that effect, and like, it's so confusing and so bad. And like I said, they cut out a lot of the battle with the beast. Like Mikey said, he pokes him with the pokey stick and he explodes or whatever happened.
Well, I wonder if you get those 30 minutes, is it going to be any better?
I don't know. What are the 30? There's another scene. There's another scene that was cut out where the Reverend Kane came back to the house to tempt the family, to tempt the mother this time. And Tangina goes to the door and she's like, "You will not come into this house. You are a demon man, and we do not need you."
I hated her voice.
And so I tried to find the deleted scene. It's only on the Laserdisc. I couldn't find it because I really wanted to see a little bit more, because she's awesome. And she says that that's the scene that she gave her most in. And she was pissed. That's why she came back for the third round, to try to get a little bit more of that first movie magic that she had. So I don't know, man. I think
is she based on the chick from The Conjuring?
I think that she was just based on herself, because she was a medium and a psychic and everything. So
okay.
So I think they just based the character on her. That's just her being herself. And so I think that, like I said, though, the shaman really takes hold in this movie, and he's good. He's really good. And he died shortly after this movie finished, too. So that goes into the curse. But, I mean, like, just...
Fire, water.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the mild racism, though, like, towards him, at first I was like, was that racism? And then he says, like, these people. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, I see what's going on. And then he says the line that he says, you know, I'm like 116 Cherokee. And I was just like, oh, white.
Why are you trying to compare this to, like, 2021?
Oh
It's
no, that's what I'm saying.
1986.
That's
Yeah,
why.
like-
That's what, you're right, and that's the point. Is because it isn't
Like
a
nobody
time
gave
where-
a shit back then.
well, people
Everything
said
was
stuff like that.
cool.
And that's the thing is
The
like
good old days, Jake is saying.
Every party on screen and I get in trouble.
You got it.
it plays into the movie. Like he even says, I don't know, maybe he escaped from an asylum on the reservation. But that's
Yeah.
is that a callback to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Oh,
Nest?
yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of movie this would have been if the actor wouldn't have died during filming.
Oh, Julian Beck.
Yeah.
The same.
I don't think it would have changed it.
Oh, I definitely. I think that's probably the biggest reason why they didn't get those extra 30 minutes. And here's another thing to think about with his character, especially when he's going up to the house and talking to Carol Ann. One of the biggest things we had to deal with as kids was stranger danger.
Yes.
That's 100% the absolute definition of that. And also, I think another reason I get kind of connected is because I think I've told you guys this before. I got lost at the zoo when I was 6 years old, when I was 5 years old, and any fucking dude could have snatched me up and done whatever. But by the grace of God, I was picked up by the right guy who took me to the office. So like that scene, I think I got some.
Nobody
PTSD
wants
from
this
that one.
annoying fucking kid. He keeps talking about directors and movie plots. Fucking drop him off at the fucking front gate. God damn.
Is my name David Jessup?
Yeah, you messed up. I was like, why is he talking about me? I wasn't lost at the zoo. I always knew where I was.
Dave was lost at the zoo last night.
I was always in the 8 cage going, I'm so sorry you're locked up. So can we also talk about this shitty backdrop outside the restaurant? Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Shit, it was so bad. When they're at the restaurant and they're talking to the Indian guy in the parking lot, and it's like a literal drawing of the desert on a giant backdrop, and they're just obviously in the studio.
A lot of matte paintings.
Yeah, a lot of matte paintings.
I like when the white trash woman's like, he ain't no good, he ain't coming to my house, and then she just drops the cup and she's like, my children, come with me.
I thought that was actually a pretty tender moment.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. There were little moments in this movie like that, and like I said, I enjoyed it overall. The third one, I'm excited to see it because I know there's a major drop off.
I'm going to be Dave Jessup for the third movie.
Yeah, there's a major drop off in quality.
I've never seen it, and
David, that's a you and me, buddy.
Is that okay?
Book
okay,
it.
I'm in.
How
Thursday? You want to do it Thursday?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything Thursday. Yeah, I think I'm free Thursday. Let's do it.
All right, we're doing
the
it.
tequila worm, whenever it wakes up and it's got that close up on the eye. Which I don't even know tequila worms have eyes. I was like, that's cool. And then that scene, whenever he's spitting up the worm, that almost killed Craig T. Nelson. It was inflating. And so as it was inflating, it would have broke his jaw and broke his face. And he spit it out right in time so that it didn't. So
shit.
Yeah, it was a close one. And they filmed it multiple times too. And so I think they said it was like one of the last takes. They inflated it too quickly.
Can you imagine how awful that would be? Craig T. Nelson dying making Poltergeist II.
Fuck it, Dave. This movie that happens, and all you that happens, and all you haters are going to be like, this movie defined a generation.
It's probably the greatest movie ever made.
That's all I'm going to You don't understand the magnificence of Poltergeist II.
I would only say that the only reason I would have said that is if they kept the scene of him dying in the movie. Then I would have been like, this movie is Godfather.
The thing inflates and his head just explodes.
Well, that's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's what could have happened though. Like that's terrifying, and like they didn't tell him until afterwards. But like
Faces of Death Part 3.
This movie changed the way inflations was in movies. It was groundbreaking. Scene.
If I had a gun right now, I'd blow my fucking brain. Hey, I know that we're talking about special effects. And I wanted to throw this out there, and it has nothing to do with this movie. But the great Rob Bottin, who did the special effects for The Thing, I did not realize that he did the special effects for 7. I watched 7 the other night, and I was going through the credits, and he did the special effects for that. So I just
and he killed it?
Yeah,
is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, he fucking killed it, bro.
Yeah. Kill it in 7.
So with this movie, that third act with the different, like, that's where the jump scares and the haunted house kind of vibe comes in. it just doesn't feel the same. It's not as strong as the first movie. Plus, there's a lot more jump scares in this movie, cheap ones, where it like the mirror, whenever the kid turns around and you just see the zombies hanging out in the mirror. When she opens the closet and all the zombies pop out. The chainsaw, the motherfucking chainsaw. What?
That was like Evil Dead, man.
That I did like. I thought that effect.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool.
That was kind of cool.
But it's just one of those things where like they're like, well, we got to go. We got to get out of this house. But like, it's just not as tight. I don't know. I know you guys don't like it. Jay, do you have
like whenever Carol Ann turned into the zombie also?
Yes,
at the very end?
Yeah, fucking, that's like the best. That's like my favorite scary part of the entire fucking movie.
It was really fucking good.
That will fucking terrify a 7-year-old.
Spot on, dude.
That was good. I give it a thumbs.
James says, based upon what I said about the tequila thing, damn, we could have been rid of Coach before it started.
You're a monster, James.
We love Coach.
We love Coach.
All right, guys. Anything else about the movie you guys want to talk about? Anything specifically? Go ahead, Jake.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Raph.
Yeah, Raph.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say this movie really sucked, man. I hate it.
Oh, guys, we didn't talk about the song. The motherfucking song.
The motherfucking song. What song? Oh, the Carol Ann's theme.
No,
yeah,
the song?
The Gods in His Holy Temple?
Yes. I mean, if you think about this movie, it sucks. But that portrayal, he's only on screen for 7 minutes.
Yes.
And that song has lasted forever.
Yeah, didn't Chris Elliott sing it in Scary Movie 2?
I think he did.
Jay, what were you gonna say?
Well, I'm gonna get emotional, guys. So get ready. Obviously, you guys know what I've been dealing with over the past few weeks, and the grandmother. I looked her up on IMDb, and when she was filming this movie, she was the same age as my mom, and all the scenes, especially when she's talking to Carol Ann, and then also at the end when she saves Carol Ann. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. And I think that's another reason I feel so passionate about talking about it is like it hit me today. It hit me today on that note, at least on that note, and I was like, it really got me in the herp. Again, I'm not going to defend it against all the things y'all have said because I agree with a lot of it, honestly. But I like arguing, and you're going to have to bring it. But at the same time, yeah, that's the only little tidbit that I just wanted to add. I love that. I thought she did a great. She was another person who was in the movie for way too short a time.
Yeah.
But it was designed for the plot, and I thought she did a great job.
Wait, so I have one question. When the grandmother called in the morning, the little girl answered, right? And she had already passed away.
Yeah, she
Yes.
That's why Carol Ann wasn't surprised like the brother was.
Hey, guys, just a real quick request. In the future, if you pick a shitty movie, but it has a connection to you emotionally with the lost loved one, tell me up front first so I don't shit on your fucking movie for 2 hours and then my Catholic guilt takes over and now I feel like a fucking asshole for the rest of 30 minutes.
That was
a sticker.
That was
called a power move.
That was by design, bro. I was like, yep, bring it in.
So good.
You are a Catholic, aren't you, David?
I'm recovering, yes.
Yeah.
He's totally a Catholic.
All right, guys.
Catholics bitch that much.
Dude, my
else?
parents made us watch The Exorcist like it was a fucking documentary. When I was like 10 years old.
That could happen to you.
My dad kept me up when I was 7 to watch all the Exorcist movies because we were Catholic.
Look what Jesus will do. Look what Jesus will do. It was that. Fuck.
Jake, you want to give us your list?
No.
Smoke.
That's what Taylor said whenever he fucking blew a shotgun into Craig T. Nelson's mouth.
Dude, that shit was hilarious.
I actually wanted to talk about that scene because I like when they're smoking peyote or whatever in that cave. And I for a moment before he gives him that shotgun hit of the ganja, when he starts talking, Taylor's talking to him and he says, "Stuff's been done to you since you were a kid." It reminded me of my Catholicism. I thought we were about to find out that he was Craig touched Nelson.
Oh,
Rip, bro.
God damn it. Save it for the stage, bro.
And then he goes and he shotguns the monster at the end of it. He's
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
Shotgun, is that what that's called? Shotgunning whenever you
Yeah.
All I thought it was called fucking snowballing. I apologize. I had to reach for that. All right. Anything else about the movie, guys?
God.
Snowballing
Jesus
is something
Christ.
completely different, and it's really gross.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not.
I can tell you what it is, but you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Googling snowballing right now.
No need to.
Oh no. Oh.
I learned about that in junior college.
Yeah, don't need to know about it. All right, guys. Anything else about the movie? Anything? Anyone? Everyone's good.
Jacob brought up the other thing I want to talk about. I like how
Yeah.
Taylor keeps setting up that he's going to get the car at the end because they didn't pay him for all his time. I like it. He's like, your car's not happy. And he keeps bringing it up. He's like, give me your car. You didn't pay me shit.
Yeah, you can have my car.
One more thing that I thought was really, really bad for this movie to do was in the beginning showing flashbacks of the original film.
Yeah,
You know,
have a better
think
film.
That's a yeah. It's like, what are you? It reminded me of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, where 45 minutes of the movie is just the original movie. It's like, what are you-
Speaking of which, that's what we're watching next week. So have fun rewatching Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Well, technically,
Oh.
Hellraiser
Just start
2,
45 minutes in.
Hellraiser 2 did the same thing. And
Are you serious?
A lot of people think Hellraiser 2 is the superior movie.
You know what? I haven't seen Hellraiser 2 in years. I'll have to watch that again.
Well, guys,
feature.
let's go to recommend it. So, Raph, do you recommend this movie?
Absolutely not. Do not waste.
Damn, straight up. All right, Mikey B, do you recommend it? That was kind of like a maybe, maybe not. David, do you recommend it?
I recommend Googling Reverend Kane scenes and then Googling H.R. Giger throw up monster and just watching that.
Jay, do you recommend it?
I think if you've got a really good relationship with your family and you're not holding on to problems from about 30 to 40 years ago, that's clearly broadcast for the world to see on a podcast like this, then yeah, this movie is for you. But if you're very judgmental and like everyone needs to fit in this little bubble that you have about life and whatnot, then maybe not, because you're not necessarily the most open-minded person. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I'm closing my mind.
Don't worry, the whole world's not going to see it.
Jake, this was your pick. Do you recommend it?
Yes.
Die on that hill, Jacob. Die on that hill.
And I'm going to
Of
give
course
it
I fucking recommend it. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck y'all.
yeah. And I'm going to give it a big old recommend too. I think that as the second part, the 2 is on there. I think it's pretty good. I think it's not as good as the first one, but I really, really enjoyed it. I sat back and just took in the haunted house. I love haunted house movies. I enjoy this family. I enjoy the dynamic. I believe in the love when they talk about like the family is about the love and he's the head of the family. And I like that he kind of has to learn to stop blaming others and to take control and act like the head. I thought that was pretty cool that they carried
And to
that
stay drunk consistently.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Everyone, like she even calls it out. She's like, "You're drunk. Get out of here." And then it gets weird.
That was a really uncomfortable
It
rapey
was a
scene.
very
that was really
very
uncomfortable.
Well, there's not a comfortable one out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen a movie called Pulp Fiction, but that's a
Bravo.
very comfortable rapey scene.
Bravo,
What about
bravo.
Flesh and Blood? Is that one of your top 5 there, Dan?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Kinda
He
doozy.
watches Deliverance and jerks off.
yeah,
It's
exactly. I don't know
like,
if you've ever seen Deliverance before, but that was very artistically
oh,
made,
love
sir.
it. Love it. Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast. All right, guys, let's get to some clips. Let's clip it
Clips.
up. All right. How do I do this again? Clips.
Oh my
Control Alt
connections.
Delete.
All right. All right. Stop sharing. Oh, wait. I am sharing. You guys can see it, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
How the fuck you get up?
All right, let me restart it because that's loud as fuck. Okay, first clip. is gonna be how the hell did he get up there?
Ladder on top of a matte painting.
Yeah, look at that. But there's no stairs. There's nothing like that. How the fuck did he
Dude,
get up there?
as
He
a
controls the
1/16
wind.
Cherokee. Yeah, thank you.
You're right.
Thank you,
sir.
Mikey B.
Hey, did y'all notice he had so much makeup throughout the movie? Like, just a lot
Yeah,
of makeup
like
on.
so the Robbie's getting attacked by his braces and attacks the whole family, and he's down there protecting Carol Ann with face paint on that he didn't have before then. And it's just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing down here, though? Still love the movie. Fuck you.
You know, as 2/16 Cherokee, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop questioning the abilities of the Native Americans.
Yeah,
We
I don't
have the
expect.
same laws.
I don't expect you white people to get this. Okay.
2/16 would be 1/8.
Well,
God
technically,
damn.
Excuse me, pale faces.
well, technically,
Listen.
Will Sampson was Muskogee, so he wasn't even Cherokee. So I don't even know why you're bringing
Oh, dude, he's a. God damn.
Yeah, just
Get
stop.
him. Get
him
him.
up. There's no
Jay.
response you
Get
can
him.
get. There's no response I can do.
He was also he was a shaman in real life, and when they found out that they used real skeletons for this movie, they asked that he bless the set. So at 4 a.m. in the morning, he went into the closed set and actually did the ritual to exorcise the demons or whatever it would
So
be.
on the second movie, they use the same skeletons from the first movie.
They're cheaper to use the fake ones, man. That's-
Real
Why would
ones.
you use
Real ones.
They already owned them.
They already own them.
Yeah.
Real ones are cheaper.
Yeah. Real ones.
That's-
I mean,
That's
as
an
a-
alarming fact. I don't like that fact.
Yeah. Well,
And
I am-
here's-
Remember
I-
that when you're on set.
and
I'm
here's something.
1/16. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm just saying one thing I thought was really kind of progressive that I didn't notice as a kid, but now I like how they really kind of turned religion on their head because they kind of made it seem like Christianity was the evil religion in this movie, whereas Indian folklore seemed to be more of the benevolent kind. Did y'all catch that?
Oh yeah, because he was a cult leader and he was definitely, thinking about God all the time. I did like the flashbacks of him heading in that doomsday cult,
Sad.
and they're all in there underground. I thought those were really cool flashback scenes. And as
That-
1/16
That's a movie.
I thought that was.
Yeah.
I thought that was just him in hell, and he's like a demon.
No, that was
Right.
him underground where they all died. They all went there, and that was his doomsday cult, and he
Yeah.
all brought them there to die.
And
He
the
was-
skeletons are literally still holding their hands up towards
Yeah,
him.
yeah. He was. I mean, he was like a Jim Jones character.
Yeah. Jimmy Jones. All right. Magical Munchkin.
I think we finally found the core. We dug under the swimming pool. This is directly below the old graveyard.
Screaming
Can't believe they filmed
skeleton.
that in front of a PNG.
Hate
Whatever you do, don't tell the cops we found a shit ton of skeletons.
Stitches get stitches, baby.
Did that kind of feel like a Supernatural Avengers Assemble moment right there?
Screaming skeleton. I don't know why it screams. No idea why that screams, but okay.
Scare that poor gecko to death.
Breaking shit.
How am I going to sell this to innocent housewife, Ronnie?
This thing fucking sucks.
See, I have a question about that last scene real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he does for a living, but then he says that, and I'm like, is this guy a fucking one of those door-to-door vacuum salesmen?
Yes,
Yep.
he actually
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
talks about it for like
Well,
2 minutes
Later,
straight.
later on, he
Yeah.
says, we've had enough door-to-door salesmen. I'm like, but you're one of them. That's
Yeah.
your
Well,
brotherhood,
it takes
bro.
one to
Like,
know one, bro.
Yeah.
You need good sales karma. Hear what he has to say.
Anybody
Yeah,
else
How am I
work for
going to
Cutco
sell
back
this
in the
to
90s?
desperate housewives?
I thought that was a weird line too, because it kind of went in my head. I went to Pornhub and I was like, I started thinking maybe I might look that up later, but I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter if
Well,
they're
that-
desperate. You'll just be eating them out anyways.
Hey-o.
No sex for you.
It's a great Beatles song they're singing, so you know.
That's an oxymoron.
Creepy old man.
Great Beatles song?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the
Fuck you,
Beatles, good
dude.
sir. Yeah, we're Beatles fans.
You stinky
Hot
piece
take.
of shit.
Are you lost, sweetheart?
Yeah, she's not acting there.
Are you afraid, honey?
Oh,
Yes.
so he's really dead?
She's terrified. She was terrified of him in real life.
Hey,
Like,
It's see
Real-
that,
I'm
man.
terrified of him in real life.
real quick, everybody, real quick. If they remake this movie, they could cast Ross Day as Kane, and he would be the same exact age that Kane was in this movie. Just just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
He could just ride in on the washboard, and that'll scare everybody.
Well,
Yes, it is Temple.
the first
Holy
remake of
Spoon.
Poltergeist was such a hit. I'm sure they're going to do a sequel.
yeah, we'll get Ross Day on that. Grandma's dead.
Yes.
I thought that was a sweet scene.
Yes.
I thought it was creepy.
Good.
Who's that robot she's got back there?
Oh, that robot comes in.
My grandma.
Nightmare.
It's the Shining. The grandma even says they had the Shining without saying that they had the Shining at the beginning of the movie.
Was that a toy phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a big part of the movie.
It was
It's
big
in the
thing, like,
fucking poster. It's actually the main part of the
it
poster.
was ringing the whole time.
Did you watch this movie, Rap, or did you watch the third one?
I know, I
Mike,
absolutely
you too.
fucking
I
hate it.
just sent him Rotten Tomato reviews, and he was like, "I don't want to watch this." I'm like, "Here, just read the reviews."
Mikey, you got to stop watching the Red Letter Media fucking podcast about this, man. It's Cliff Notes and not a good way.
That was the movie.
That makes the movie make a lot more sense if you know that phone's a toy phone rapper. It's a different movie now for you, I bet.
They don't.
Oh, dude, so it's a toy phone. Okay, well this movie.
Okay, this is
I'm sorry, I
5 stars.
pretty good.
5 stars. 2 thumbs up.
Toy phone. It's a toy
It all
phone.
makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
I love the fact that you thought she called her from heaven from a real phone.
Hey, anybody got a heaven quarter?
Was she with like Southwestern Bell or was it?
Well, that was before they had call waiting, guys. They didn't have call waiting back then, so she totally got in.
You have a
1-800
call from
collect.
heaven?
1-800 collect.
Nightmare.
Never mind.
10-10-321.
Love it. I do love this. It's so cool looking.
That was a pretty cool one.
Evil Dead.
I feel like the way they filmed that is they filmed it reverse.
They did. You can see that.
Mhm.
They filmed it reverse
Yeah.
right
Yep.
there. Ghost.
What?
Hello, little one. I am your friend.
Robotron is your friend.
I love the smoke coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, it's badass.
That's a real toy from back then.
Yeah.
Long smoke rings, little bitty smoke rings.
Robo smoke rings.
Smoke with me. I will get you high.
Put ice in me.
It's a long clip. Sorry, guys. I thought it was cool.
Hey, by the way, shout out to the score. The score is actually really good in this movie.
I was gonna say I love when they score movies like this with the like big band sound. I love that. I love these old scores.
They redo the song too. The whatever the god is in the holy temple. They
Yeah.
literally
Well,
do
it's
that
like his
in dance.
It's like his Imperial March.
Mhm.
Dun, dun.
I think Jerry Goldsmith? Is that who did it?
Maybe. Let's go look
I
at
don't
it.
think so.
Oh, Dan
Okay.
says this movie sucks, and
Yeah.
Hello iPicture says that.
Well,
is
the only reason
true.
he says the movie sucks is because Kane looks like what Isaac would when he grew up.
Aw.
Had that one in the chamber.
Oh, he said it. Snap, snap. That's the next clip too.
Aaron sent me. Oh, yeah? Well, say hello to the Magic Munchkin for us, will you?
Steve, wait. Sent you for what?
Oh, sick burn, bro.
Burns so sick.
All right, and Dan says ... Really, Jay? I showed you mercy.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I showed you a stage. So
Oh! Where's
battle
my
begins.
imaginary popcorn?
The battle begins.
I'm
White
kidding.
trash.
I love you, Dan.
possessed.
Love you, Dan.
Listen, children, you can't run from this thing. It has made contact and will stop at nothing.
I think the biggest sin is that her name is Elspeth.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if in the end, it'd be cool right there if she would have been like, the bacon's good on Wednesday. Like,
Yeah.
Dan said, fair point. I've been silenced. Seems racist.
Your car.
I do like this
Yeah.
scene, though.
Very angry.
Why is he lusting after the car though?
He made it smoke with. He made it smoke with his native powers, so he could take it later.
It did. It's sending him smoke signals. Like it's like
The car texted him.
He wants.
Save me,
It's a
great
Christine
chief.
situation. He wants to fuck it.
I want a girl to look at me the way Taylor looks at this.
Make it happy?
Yeah, I'll make it
Yeah.
happy, bitch.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll get happy in that car.
I might stuff my wigwam in its gas tank.
You
Really
think this movie
racist.
got great
Really
Craig T.
racist.
Nelson?
Look, I got nothing against these people, you know? I mean, I read Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I got through most of the chapters. I got some.
That was every dad in the 80s. Every white dad in the 80s.
Or every white guy in New Mexico now.
yeah. I'm like 132nd. I don't know.
Warrior children.
Well, what would you have me do? I mean, they're just children, for God's sake.
Children have fought wars. They've built nations. They are strong and have
shoes.
courage. Don't treat them any less than that because they're young.
Angry car.
Are still angry, huh?
Angry? That car is pissed.
That's a good line. That's fucking badass. Hello Pickle says, can someone help me with my Hellraiser puzzle box that make it seem so easy in the movies? And Dan says, if it's got Craig T. Nelson, it's probably racist. Look at all of Coach. Reverend Kane.
Good point.
I love how it starts raining too, just random. Yeah, boom, baby.
God damn it! I
Why
can't
would-
unsee Ross Day now.
Come on, Caroline, it's raining.
You're
Doug,
gonna
I love
die.
you, and I appreciate you clipping me, but why couldn't you clip them in order?
They are in order.
Yeah, you clip this like Pulp Fiction, bro. What's going on?
God.
No, they're in order. They're in order.
No, they are not.
Yeah, they are.
None of this is.
Yes, it is. You're gonna die.
Die in there! All of you! You are gonna die!
Get the hell out of here.
I love that. That's
That was
Dude.
sexy.
You see?
I don't know why fucking Coach didn't go out and beat his fucking ass right then, though. Like, once he snapped awake, like, if he's a real dad from the 80s, he would have gone out there like, let's fucking go down, old man. He would have beat the fuck out of that motherfucker.
right in the cul-de-sac. Just bam, bam.
It's because Luther was the best
Seriously.
part of Coach.
Amen,
Who's that,
brother.
SpongeBob?
Yep.
No, it's
All right.
Patrick.
Dan said it's the ducky
Yep.
cut. That's why it's cut this way. All right, scared duck, and it did.
You're a pest, you know that?
Why did that scare me?
It looked
it's a
like they
jump
were
scare.
posing like white
That's like-
girls.
What was that, Mikey?
It looked like they were posing like white girls. Like it looks like one of them's doing duck lips. And they're
Let's
just
go back.
hanging out in the mirror.
Oh no!
Look, the cover of the fucking Guns N' Roses album, Appetite for Destruction.
You're right.
That's
They
pretty.
were-
That's very apropos. That's Alice Cooper in the top there.
Yeah.
Unknown fact.
Ooh.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it scared me. It got me. Brace face.
Yellow.
Brace.
Oh no! Oh shit! That is badass.
That's so badass.
Yeah,
That's
Yes.
a practical effect to hold up.
Tetsuo the Iron Kid.
look, I had to build a lot of barbed wire fences, and this shit is like, that's legit. It looks fucking scary as fuck
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I just knowing how sharp that is, and just like I don't know how they did that, but that is fucking crazy. And then just all gone.
Turn that kid into iron deficiency man.
I just realized Scary Movie got that stain in the freezer from this.
They got like.
Oh yeah, like from every horror movie they pulled something.
They pulled a lot from Poltergeist.
Yeah. It's Hello Pickle says that scene reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street, and Dan says, so you guys all agree Poltergeist 1 is the better movie. I
Yes.
agree.
No, Poltergeist 3 with Tom Skerritt. I like Dallas from the fucking Wayland Yutani Corporation.
Hey, what was someone mention Alien?
Yeah.
It's already David's favorite one. Yeah. You haven't even watched it yet.
You mean Dallas from Alien?
You mean Captain Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh,
David did
you
one
mean
of
the
these.
dad from Steel Magnolias?
And Lewis from RoboCop.
From RoboCop. Okay,
Yes.
greatest movie ever. Poltergeist 3. I can't wait to watch it.
Boom. Midge humor. No one out there, huh?
I still say midget. I'm ready to die in that hill.
But dude, I just think midge.
Oh yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Hello. Here I am, bitch. The enemy. Oh, they are getting high. Smoking that peyote. End of the world prophet.
Seal themselves in the cavern because Kane tells them that the end of the world is coming.
There's a lot of children in this scene. That's so sad.
That's
it's
very
like the
effective.
original ending of the Matrix 3.
Hey, is that the kid who played? Is that the kid who played the Dream Child?
I'm not going to make a bet with you. Don't.
I don't know. It's not a sucker bet. I think it kind of looks like it's the kid that Sam Neill fucking schools in the beginning of Jurassic Park.
All right, let's see.
Not him. And keep going.
Right there.
That guy. Oh, I think that is him.
Oh wow,
I think that is him.
Wow.
The kid is killing it. Evidently, that guy just scared all
No,
of us.
I know exactly who he's talking about. Yeah.
All right, I gotta pump up the volume so you can hear it go. Oh,
Giant turkey kid.
Yeah, giant turkey kid.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah. She's seducing her right now. You're gonna come get this pussy.
Tequila is my lady.
Do it. I love it. Cabin in the Woods reference.
Dude.
That's the most you ever made me laugh.
That hurt.
I like it.
Mikey B
I
just got
like
an
it.
And Friends showcase. Good job, Mikey B.
Is holy damn.
Oh, he does his mouth
That
perfect.
is great.
That's
That
a
was
beautiful
great
movie.
right there.
I love
Yeah,
when the
he
worm
fucking
opens its
nailed it.
eye. It's so dope. I thought that was great. I like the worm's
Yeah.
eye, whatever. That was good.
You never wanted the baby. It's just
You never wanted Carolyn!
What a dick.
so
He's
sad.
possessed.
This made me
Even the
laugh.
dolls have been.
That made me laugh.
The possessed doll's like, this is fucked up.
The doll's
Like
like, oh shit, you were almost aborted, bitch.
We don't talk about abortion in the 80s.
Almost killed him. So how that's inflating? Look at that.
Probably almost passed out.
That was dope.
And the creature effects in this are more like from the ethereal. Like, remember in the first movie, they come back and they're covered in the slime. It does feel like kind of in tangent with that. Awesome. This shit is the best part of the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, oh my god.
They used real.
So cool.
They used real amputee actor for this.
Yeah, Noble Kane. Noble Craig.
Look at that. Just
Oof,
like
terrifying.
So good.
That's my favorite.
Well, that's kind of like what they did with E.T. also, though, you know?
Also kind of looks like a merman.
Does.
All comes back to Cabin in the Woods, man.
Good point, man. Good
Never
point.
get to see a merman. The big monster. That's horrible. That's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. That's what Geiger did. He did a bunch of drawings for the monsters in this, but 2 of them were used. I believe this is one of them and the other one, but he did not like how they turned out. So he was very pissed off. He just snowballed him.
Hadoukened him.
What was it?
He Hadoukened him.
Hey, also a shout out to Joe Beth Williams, because she fucking, again, she's not the focal point like the first one, but when she acts the shit out of this movie.
She was really giving in this movie. Like, and as you know, in acting, I mean, I'm no fucking expert, but to give scenes, that's a very underrated talent.
I can think of something she can give me. So Jesus.
Nope.
Skeletons
like
in the
90 now.
closet. It was just a vacuum. You're fine. This kid should have kept the helmet on. Watch this shit. And then the roof falls on his fucking head. That wasn't Daddy. That's just a weird thing to say.
Lift up the knob, sweetheart. Come on, honey. Open the... What is it? Sweetheart, that wasn't Daddy upstairs in the bathroom. You know that.
That's such a weird line.
That line by itself is problematic.
Wasn't Daddy in the bathroom? God bless.
Oh my
It's very
God.
problematic. Like,
Yeah, that's
divorced from the fucking movie. Like, yeah, motherfucking chainsaw. What? Tangina equals jump scares.
Tangina.
My bad. Tangina.
Tangina.
So I have to see it too.
Oh, she's so fun to watch. What the fuck just happened? Because the graphics are so bad and randomly they just
Oh my God, damn it.
Blend you into Tron.
What the fuck, dude?
This part's pretty cool. The beast flies. Oh.
He shook his head no.
The beast flies. Go to the fire.
No.
Green screen mess.
The Bugaloos, we're in the air and everywhere.
Dude, nobody gets that fucking.
Well, I do, and that's all that matters.
I googled Bugaloos and he's really talking shit. It looks bad. It looks bad. I just googled it on my phone.
That is.
There we go.
That is
Awesome.
badass.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That is
great.
badass.
That's great.
Magic stick. Grandma
what
saves the
magic?
day.
Oh, these special effects suck.
Oh, I laughed so hard at this.
I like it.
I want to fly.
All right, finally, happy car.
Your car. Yeah, well, it's happy.
Not yet.
He doesn't want to fuck
Not
that
until I
car.
fuck it.
Can I
When I fuck it, it's gonna be heavy.
It wants to come home with me.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
can I
Guys.
have your car?
I didn't realize that it was a sexual relationship until now. Okay. Yeah. So my recommendations today are going to be based upon sequels that are better than the original, because I went off kind of what Jay was saying. He likes this one better. So I'm going to say sequels that are better than the original within the realm of horror. First one will be The Devil's Rejects. The Devil's Rejects is so much better than House of a Thousand Corpses. While I enjoyed it when we watched it for how schlocky and B-movie it is, and I enjoyed it on a different level than I ever did before, The Devil's Rejects holds up. It's just a damn good movie. It's gritty, it's grimy, it's dirty.
It's disturbing.
Right.
Barely a horror movie.
The one scene I can never get out of my head is whenever he's preaching in the hotel room and he makes the girl give him a blowjob. That shit is so wrong and so disturbing. I can't wait to watch it with you guys. The second movie will be Silence of the Lambs, which is technically a sequel to Manhunt.
That's true. That's true.
So that I was like, we'll do a little bit of a loophole here.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, it's technically,
sequel.
even though
It's
they
a
went back and
sequel.
remade Red Dragon later. Wow, just a powerhouse of a movie. Just
Which
awesome.
I love Manhunter. I love Manhunter, but Silence of the Lambs is better.
It's just so good, and he won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. You can't go against Anthony Hopkins in this. His Hannibal Lecter is definitely defining.
Best actor, best actress,
Best director, best picture.
movie. And it came out on Valentine's Day, which is so fucking funny to me.
1991. It's the 30-year anniversary.
Oh, good.
James,
David, who'd you take to the movies that night?
22 years old. Who's your sweetie?
Yeah. We know you went to the movies that night.
I went by myself.
Oh my god.
Talk about silence of something. He
I
put the lotion on his skin.
No silence of the hands.
I didn't have a game. That was before I joined a band, so I didn't have game back then.
So the final, I got a third one because my girlfriend brought it up. Dawn of the Dead, the 1978 film. This is highly debatable whether the original Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead's a better movie. I love Dawn of the Dead. I think it's absolutely amazing. Oh, there's Hannibal Lecter right there. Holy shit, he's popping into the screen. Yeah.
That was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I totally agree with you on this one, Doc. You nailed it.
I'm right there. Yep, I agree.
That was all Sophie. She picked that, so we'll give her a shout out for that. Guys, do you have any recommendations for anything?
Negative.
I thought David would go with his Aliens. I don't know if he thinks Aliens is a better movie though.
I think my whole issue with Aliens and Alien has always been Aliens is a different movie. Whereas Alien's a horror movie, Aliens is a war movie, and it's amazing on its own. But yeah, I it's I remember talking to Jay about this one time. I think it's very hard to find a sequel that's better than the original. It's very difficult.
Empire Strikes Back.
But Empire is the exception, less than the rule.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard. Maybe sometimes people say Evil Dead 2, even though I consider that more of a remake.
Actually, James just said that in the chat, so he said Evil Dead 2.
It's hard to find, man.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
That's way better. It's the best one of the series.
And I will
Godfather 2. People say Godfather 2 is better than the first one.
I will say that Predator 2 is just as good as Predator 1.
Predator. Hot take Jake.
Yeah.
Take Jake.
I love Danny Glover in it. Bill Paxton and fucking Maria Conchita Alonso.
Terminator 2.
Yes.
2.
Oh, yeah. T2 is way better than Terminator 1.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 is one of the greatest movies ever made, and I will fight you. I will fight you.
I went and saw the movie theaters, dude.
You beat that one? 10 years old.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God, yes.
You know, the thing I love so much about Terminator 2 is as a little kid growing up, I used to love watching monster movies. And one of my favorite monster movies were these two gargantuans that would fight each other. And I love that about Terminator 2 is you have the two Terminators fighting each other. I thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Greg says Home Alone 2. And then James says The Road Warrior, which he's 100% correct.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, straight up.
Totally.
And Fury Road is probably the best of all of them. And that's a sequel also. So.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
But I did love Thunderdome.
Mike, you got any sequel movies? Raph, you got any sequel movies you think of?
Break 2, Madagascar 2.
Now you're just saying twos. All right.
Child's Play 2. I think Child's Play 2 is the best.
Well, guys, we definitely took a look at Poltergeist 2 here. We appreciate everyone watching. Mikey, can you tell them where they can find you on the internet, please?
Check out my Instagram at Mikey B the Comic, or check out my podcast on Instagram, The Open Mic Podcast, MIKE. Got a ton of clips there to decide if you want to check out the episode. We'll have live shows soon. We already have a place asking us to do one there, and we're working on formatting it. That's where you can find me.
Fuck yeah. I listened to the newest episode of the podcast today. You guys have got to listen to the Open Mic Podcast. Hilarious.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, dude. It was great. David, where can they find you on the internet?
Facebook at stopmotionnightmares.com And then at the Instagram, Children of Dave. This Sunday, I'll be at the Halton Theater performing at a burlesque show. I'm not burlesquing. And then 18th, 19th, Addison Improv. And then New Year's Eve weekend, Plano House of Comedy. Come check it out.
Yeah. And you can find us on the internet at /We Are Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're everywhere. You can also check out the WAP and reviews. I put those up on the everything, basically.
Also, triplebeamconstruction.com for all your building needs. No, I'm just fine. Don't do that.
Go to triplebeamconstruction.com for
idiot. I'm playing.
Also, I will be releasing a couple We Are airs this week. I cannot wait. We have one where we talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife, and the really fun one is You Ain't Chris, which is You Ain't List, where we talk about Christmas music. I can't wait to get that out there. With that said, you can find us every Monday for Camp/Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past, live on Twitch and everywhere else. Next week will be Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, which evidently we're watching most of Silent Night, Deadly Night 1.
Seriously, dude.
I did not know
Skip
that.
in the first 45 minutes.
We might need to do a double feature. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. With that
Isn't
said,
there a
guys,
part 3?
There is, and we're going to check that out too. So we'll talk about that in a
Hey,
second.
can I say one last thing?
What's that, Raph?
Betty, who's watching, thank you for watching. And
Yes,
Hope,
Betty.
I just want to say thank you for watching, Hope.
Yes,
Hey,
thank
what's
you.
up? Thank you.
If you
Thank
talk
you.
to us, we appreciate it. If you just listen, we appreciate it. Keep horror in your heart, everybody. Keep horror in your heart. With that said, thank you guys all for being here tonight. Can't wait to see you next week. And I'm going to kill the feed as soon as I figure out how to do that.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, dungeons, and distractions side quests. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.